Hello, lovies. It's your Auntie Lisa, the cool aunt, the non-judgmental aunt, the aunt you can tell anything to. Now, I've learned some life lessons, some of them the hard way. Let's find out what life lessons we have today with Auntie Lisa's Life Lessons. Hello, my lovies. It's your Auntie Lisa. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a lovely one. I thought I would come in and talk to you about a little life lesson or two. So, we just got past Mother's Day, right? And it got me to thinking a lot about my mama and how much I miss her. Now, growing up, my mama was hard on me. I mean, hard on me. She demanded that I be the best at everything. But then as we all got older and she had a stroke around about 50, that completely changed her personality. She actually got a sense of humor. But she realized how hard she had been on me. I was supposed to be the perfect child. I had to have excellent grades. I had to be the best at everything I attempted. And that's something that's been ingrained in me ever since. I still feel like I have to be the perfect child. I have to be the best at everything I attempt. And the thing is you don't have to be the best at everything you attempt. You just need to enjoy yourself. So I was thinking a lot about that and thinking about my mama. And I got to thinking about how hard I am on my son. Now, my son is autistic. He's 20 years old, getting ready to graduate high school, and oh my God, I cannot believe he's going to graduate, but he is. And I am hard on him. I'm constantly riding him, trying to get him to think for himself, to do things. And I'm so afraid that he's going to look back on his formative years and say to himself, Lisa was hard on me, and she was a bitch. And I don't want to be looked at back on as being the bitch, So I try to balance it. I'm hard on him because I'm trying to create him or teach him how to be the man I know he can be. But at the same time, I want him to know that I'm his friend. Since he's 20 years old, I can be his friend more than I have to be his mom. You know what I mean? So I think about that a lot. Then I think about weird things related to my mama and how I have become just like her. Now, I'm like her in so many ways, and I'm like my father in many, many ways. But like my mom, I have caught myself walking through the house, turning off lights, shutting garage doors, doing all sorts of things, and yelling, "I am not here to support Detroit Edison." Which is hilarious because I live in Wisconsin. I wouldn't be supporting Detroit Edison anyway. But that's what my mama said every time she would go and turn off lights or whatever. "I am not here to support Detroit Edison. I do not pay their bills. Turn off the lights. Stop running the water so much. Yada, yada." That's me. I'm not here to support Wisconsin, whoever my electric company is. I don't even know who it is, but they are also my gas company. I'm not here to support Oshkosh Water. Meanwhile, my son will run the water and run it and run it and run it. And I'm like, stop that. So I'm definitely like my mom in that aspect. Trying to think of other ways that I'm like my mom. She was a perfectionist. And when I say a perfectionist, I mean a perfectionist. Nothing could be out of place in her house. I'm on medication now, so my house is a mess. OCD is gone. We don't have to worry about that. Now let's see, what else am I like my mama on? The list making. Okay. Now, y'all know, Auntie Lisa has told you before that the way she keeps things straight in her very addlepated mind is to make lists. And I've got lists of my lists and lists of lists, right? So I learned that from my mama. Every Saturday, never failed. She had a whole list of things that had to get done on Saturday. And then she would initial next to it who was going to do it. So, there'd be all these chores for Saturday. And then, next to vacuum would be an L. Next to dust would be a B for my brother Bruce. Next to, I don't know, doing the dishes would be an H for my sister, whatever. Always had a list of things to do. And near the bottom of the list, every Saturday, was do nails. I am so not like my mama in that aspect. She had the best hands, and I do not. My hands are ugly. She always did her nails. She was doing her nails constantly. My mom was a girly girl, okay? Loved her makeup, loved her nails, loved to do hair. Her hair, straight, fine hair. That's not me. I got this curly mess that, frizzes out. My sister takes after her where the hair is concerned. I do not. Let's see. Mama loved black jelly beans. And I mention this because, Easter was a couple weeks ago and, Mother's Day just happened. And I think about black jelly beans. When I was a kid, oh, nice. I'm outside and the birds are just singing to me. When I was a kid, I didn't know there were such things as black jelly beans because I'd never seen one. Never had seen a black jelly bean in my life until I was about 10 years old. And in my Easter basket was a black jelly bean. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a black jelly bean. Look at this. I didn't know they made black jelly beans. To which my mom immediately grabs it from me, pops it in her mouth, and says, oh, I missed one. They were her favorite things. She loved black jelly beans. I kind of am fond of them too. I love them. But, ooh, I missed one, popped it in her mouth. So, I think of that. I think of yes, those were Canadian geese flying overhead. I think of all the ways that I'm like my mom and all the ways that I'm not like my mom. Does it make me a better person to try to not be like her? I don't know. Does it make me a better person to try to be like her? I don't know. But I tell you one thing I do know. And this is your lesson today. This is Auntie Lisa's life lesson. You will miss your mama. Whether you had a great relationship with her or whether you had a tenuous relationship with her. Whether she was hard on you or whether she was your best friend. It's not going to matter because you are going to miss your mama. When your mama goes, and honey, all mamas will eventually pass, it's going to hurt and you will miss your mama. There will be times when you will think to yourself, how do I do such and such? I know mom knows. There are many times when I'm sitting there going, I would love to make my mom's chili soup. We called it chili growing up, but now that I'm older, I realize it really wasn't chili. It was more of a soup. I have no idea how she made it. Can't call her up and ask her. There are lots of questions I would love to ask her about her childhood, growing up, about my grandparents. Can't call her and ask her. And that's the hard part, That's what you're going to end up missing. I miss being able to talk to her about Denver, my son. When I married Dave, my mama was the witness for our wedding. So she had met Dave and she had met Denver. And I used to tease her that the mother's curse bounced off my brother and hit me. You know the mother's curse, right? I hope you have a child who is just like you. Then you'll know what ingrates you people are. I hope you have a child just like you. Well, my son is just like my brother in so many ways. He is also like me in that he has OCD just like I have OCD. But I love to say that, that curse bounced off my brother and came back and hit me. So I would call her a lot. What do I do about Denver? How do I help Denver? What? And she would give me advice because she had herself raised a hyperactive child. Even though back then they didn't diagnose ADHD, they just said, "Oh, he's hyperactive." Well, Bruce had, you know, some interesting sensory disorders. And so she had a special child, and I have a special child, and I try to figure out how to raise this special child, and I don't have mom to call. So I guess what I'm saying is, hug your mama. If you have a bad relationship with your mom, try to put it on a level of at least not being bad. There are toxic people, and I don't want you to have to keep toxic people in your life, even if it is your mama. But just know you are going to miss your mom. So remember that. And if there comes a time when you just can't help the sadness of missing your mom, allow yourself to grieve. I do. There are times when I just sit there and let it wash over me. That's our life lesson for today. I know it's a kind of a serious one, but there are also some funny moments as a plane goes over my head. I live really close to an airport. Thankfully, this is not the last week in July, because if this was the last week in July, it would be really bad, because our airport is the busiest airport in the world in the last week of July. But anyway, I digress. Love your mama. Even though she annoys you to the end of the earth, even though she's old and set in her ways and crotchety, even though she asks you to fix her computer every other day. Love your mama and appreciate your mama. You will miss her when she's gone. That's my life lesson for this week. Remember our mantra: be bold, be brave, be unstoppable, and I love you just the way you are. Bye.